What is poppin', fam? Spanik here, coach of the Reno Acerola. And this is not the ICBA draft recap, no. This is the UTL Season 7 draft recap. There are some changes in the UTL for this season. Primarily, we are now... Well, we're not a upload required league, but you could upload games now. You could always upload games, but now it's actually being encouraged a little bit, but whatever, okay. The league will have an official YouTube channel, which will be linked in the description below, so you should check that out. We'll be uploading post-draft power rankings, weekly recaps, everything analysts do. But this league will not have analysts. No, the analysts will be our very own coaches. So it's a bit of an interesting take. We're not having private analysts. We're having the analysts be ourselves. I think that's fairly interesting for a league like this. Shoutouts to my boy Matt Metagross for setting up the channel, thinking of the idea. Very good idea on his end. I am a part of that YouTube team. I'll be doing the weekly recaps with my boy Derpinator, coach of the New York Shelmets in this league. So yeah, let's get right into this recap. We had the second pick in the draft, and not really a lot of broke stuff allowed in this league. Like Magirna was allowed. Like typical stuff was allowed. Like typical borderline broke stuff was allowed. Like Magirna was allowed. What else? Megalottes were allowed. Landoi was banned, but that's a big deal. But with the number 2 pick in the draft, we have decided to take... I could have taken Magirna. It didn't go with the first pick, but I used Magirna a lot of times in the league. I know what it could do. But I figured, why not try out this babe? Tapu Lele. I never actually managed to use Tapu Lele in a league before. So this is... It's news to me. I never actually tried it out. But really good stats here with base 130 attack, 115 SPDF, and 95 speed. Those are really the stats that matter the most. Its defenses are not the greatest, but Psychic Surge is really what puts this mon over the edge. It makes it borderline broken in some leagues. Because you summon Psychic Terrain, and Psychic Terrain boosts the power of Psychic-type moves and blocks priority. The fact that it blocks priority means this thing could run like Cannon Power Fire for Scissors and not have to worry about getting bullet punched in the face. And has a decent move pool in and of its own. Gets Calm Mind for a potential like subset upset. Moonblast. Nature's Madness is really nice for hitting like mons like bulky steals like Celesteela on switch-ins. Just for big damage. Even though this thing I think gets Thunderbolt. Yeah, it does, and Thunder too. So this mon could be a really good Z user. Z rules in by the way, Z rules in UTL are any mon can use Z moves. You don't have to pick Z captains. So I could bring a Z Lele one week and a Z and another Z mon a future week. Like, I don't have to designate Z captains. Any mon can do Z moves, which I think is actually the best way to do it. Okay, yeah, it gets Focus Blast, Grass Move, Grass Coverage. A lot of coverage on this mon makes it a really good Z user. But the one thing that I don't think Lele is that broken. I know Psychic Terrain is not broken. I know Psychic Terrain's not broken, and I know that kind of puts Lele over the edge. But the one thing about Lele is it has Chiron Black Syndrome, meaning it's held back by its speed. Base 95 speed is not the greatest. You're kind of forced to run Choice Scarf a lot of the time, or Choice Specs, just to do some big damage. And that's why I don't think Lele is that busted in League format. But hey, let's try it out for my own here. Let's see what it could do. Psychic Fairy is also a really good offensive typing. And now there was one mon I knew for certain that I had to pair Lele with, and that is Mega Alakazam. Tapu Lele's nickname. Tapu Lele's nickname is going to be Tapu Bebe. Tapu Bebe. Okay, now back to the recap. And yeah, one mon I definitely wanted to pair Tapu Lele with was Mega Alakazam. And the reason being is that Mega Alakazam is a very good special attacker with base 175 special attack and 150 speed. This thing is just fast as hell. It's going to break through walls. It could potentially sweep too with that really, really good speed tier. But look at this: 65 defense, 55 HP. It really gets pelted by priority, like Bullet Punch from Scizor, Sucker Punch, random Sucker Punches as well. But with Psychic Terrain up, that kind of helps out Alakazam big by blocking priority, so it opens up a lot more doors for Mega Alakazam. Even though I dupe Psychics right off the bat, that's fine. It's still early in the draft, so I don't mind getting this really powerhouse core early. And Trace is really, really nice, especially in this meta. because of the Ultra Beast. You could trace Beast Boost with this thing and just run through teams. Mega Alakazam's really, really good in this meta, and I'm really happy to use it paired with Tapu Lele here. Also, Alakazam, another Mon with fantastic move pool. Obviously, this can't run Z moves because it's my Mega, but it doesn't really need Z moves when you have base 175 special attack. Jesus Christ. And I believe this thing gets Charge Beam too, so I could even boost that. That's going to be scary. That is going to be some scary. That's going to be scary. This core right off the bat is scary. It even gets foul play, so I could even like blow back a Mon trying to set up in my face. All right, now I realize with two big offensive threats like Lele and Mega Alakazam, I kind of needed something bulky to take hits. Both these Mons being weak to... Both these Mons are not weak to Bug. Both these Mons are not weak to Bug, but Bug types really do threaten my team so far. Dark types as well, even though Lele does resist Bug, is only neutral to them. It still doesn't appreciate knockoffs because it has pitiful Fizz Def. Alakazam neither. So let's take a Mon that could. Let's take a Mon here that could take dark. It could eat hits, could eat knockoffs relatively easily, and that Mon is Skarmory. Very, very nice steel type here with 140 defense, 70 speed def. Not really that good speed def, but it's kind of made up for it by the 140 defense and the ability to recover with Roost. This Mon could also spike stack, could set up rocks too. I needed hazards, could get rid of rocks with defog. Very, very nice Mon here in Skarmory to pair well with Lele and Alakazam. And I'm 2/3 of the way to a Fairy Dragon Steel core. Oh, Alakazam 6. I keep forgetting nicknames. God damn. Alakazam's nickname, of course, it's going to be Old Man Jamvad. Just call it Jamvad. Shout out to Jamvad. Skarmory, of course, is going to be Ironburb. I'm gonna misspell it intentionally. Ironburb. It's always funny when it's misspelled like that. But anyway, back to Skarmory. This Mon is it's gonna just be here to take hits, Steel Flying, really good typing, and we're also gonna run Leftovers Rocky Helmet. We could have Roost on this thing. It gets Drill Peck as well. I believe it gets spikes. Yeah, spikes, rocks, all that stuff. It gets Roar too, so I can even roar around things. And also, there's an interesting move it gets called Icy Wind. This is really nice to surprise, like, quad super effective things with ice, like Landorus T or Gliscor or something like that. Just hit him with the Icy Wind, just do some big damage. Even with base 40 special attack, I believe you still 2 a KO offensive Landorus. I gotta double check that calc, but I believe you still 2 a KO offensive Landorus, and you drop its speed, which is why it's nicer than HP Ice. I believe this thing gets Heat Wave too. No, it doesn't. All right, I thought it did. Whatever. It's fine. Anyway, am I recording? Because sometimes this thing fucks up. Yes, I am. Okay, good. Unprofessionalism at its finest. All right, so with Skarmory, I'm 2/3 of the way to my Fairy Dragon Steel, and I still don't have a Dark Resist. So I need like a knockoff switch in, which is very, very nice. Which would be very, very nice for Lele and Megazam, because they don't want to take dark moves well, as both of them don't take dark moves well. Skarmory's here more as a bug resist, because of quad resist bug, and I figured I would definitely need a fighting type, because fighting types would be really, really nice with a Psychic Terrain team, as fighting resists both bug and dark, which is really, really threatening to my 2 Psychic types here. So I figured, hey, I figured with one Mon, I could complete my Fairy Dragon Steel core and get the Psychic and get the fighting type I wanted, and that Mon is Komodo. Yes, Kana is coming back for UTL Season 7. I had this Mon in IBL D League, and it put in a lot of work. I didn't do that well in IBL D League. Got a lot of hacks. Didn't really have the time to upload it, but I did get hacked a lot. I think we finished 3-3, if I'm not mistaken. Missed playoffs, whatever. It's fine. But Komodo gives me a physical attacker on this team with 2 special attackers over here. I felt like I needed a physical Mon, and Komodo really does fit the bill. A 110 attack. Could even run mixed with base 100 special attack. Has decent bulk. 125 Fizz Def, 105 Speed Def, 75 HP. 85 speed is not the greatest, but it does get Dragon Dance and Autotomize. So I do have ways to boost speed with this Mon. 3 very good abilities, but Bulletproof, Soundproof, and Overcoat. I could definitely make that I can definitely make that useful to my matchup. Does bulletproof blocks moves like Sludge Bomb and Shadow Ball and things like that. Soundproof blocks Hyper Voice. So if I run into like Sylveon or something, I could just run Soundproof and be able to block his Hyper Voice. Same thing with Mega Gardevoir, but they'll probably run Moonblast to counter that. And Overcoat is really nice if I face a Weather team, which I don't think anyone drafted Weather, but so be it. With any Mon being able to use Z moves, I could be able to run Z moves on this Mon. Has a very, very good move pool, both physical and special. I believe it gets Flamethrower, Break, gets close combat now. Clanging Scales is a really good special dragon move. Much more spammable than Draco Meteor. Drain Punch now it gets 2. It gets Aqua Tail now too. Wow, okay, this Mon's actually really good. So yeah, that's really it about Komodo. It's just going to be there as a physical sweeper. Could even set up rocks and taunt. Could even be like an anti-lead set, but this Mon's mostly going to be the main physical sweeper. Could even run Bandit and Wall Break because it's really good offenses. Really good defenses too. I wish I got Roost. If I got Roost, then it'd be great. Okay, so right off the bat with my Mons here, I'm kind of weak to... Okay, but all these Mons here, I am kind of weak to... I don't even know what I'm weak to. But alas, our next pick will be Alolan Muck. And the only reason I picked this is because it was still on the board. We're in round 5 now. It was still on the board, and I wanted to get a Lele check off the board. That's really the only reason I picked this, even though it does have really, really good SpDef and HP. And I had this Mon last season in UTL, and it did fairly well. I had this Mon in Season 1 of ICBA too, and it was really good Poison. Poison Dark is a really, really good typing. And Muckalola is a really good Mon with the team because it eliminates a check to Lele and Alakazam that people can draft. It's like people drafting Bisharp where you draft Latios, because that just eliminates a check to it. And that's kind of the reason why I picked up Muck here. It eliminates a very good check to Alakazam, eliminates a very good check to Lele as well. So it really forces people to have some creative prep for my team now. Not saying I won't bring this to games. Of course I'm going to bring this to games. But even if it doesn't really synergize well, that's because I only kind of took it so no one else could have it. Anyway, let's really say about Muck. 3 good abilities: Poison Touch, Gluttony, and Power of Alchemy, which could be interesting. But I think it's only good in doubles. But Poison Touch and Gluttony really going to be the only moves here. Priority with Shadow Sneak. Gets Poison Dark, really good defensive typing. Only weak to ground. Gets fire coverage. I think it's Ice Punch too. It does. And yeah, that's a Alolan Muck. It's gonna spam moves that can run Curse. AV is also an interesting set. 100 SpDef, 105 HP. Really nice bulk. 105 attack. Really hits hard too. Knockoff spammer. Gets priority with Shadow Sneak. And of course, Muck is going to be named GG. It's Envy. Because Envy had this in his first ever season of GBA and just completely ran train with it. And that is why I am naming it GG. It's Envy. Okay, so my next Mon. Another Mon that... Okay, so my next Mon. I felt like I wanted to have another rocker on the team that wasn't named Skarmory, and I wanted to start work on a Firewater Grass Core. I don't have a Firewater Grass Core at the moment. I don't even have a Fire type or a Water type or a Grass type, and it's already round 6. So I figured I'm gonna need to pick one up soon, and I didn't know what I wanted in Tier 4, but then I found this in Tier 4, Swampert. I really didn't know Swampert was going to be Tier 4 because I've seen this Mon Tier 3 in a ton of different leagues. Because just look at the stat distribution: 90 defense, 90 in SpDef, 85 special attack, 110 attack, 100 HP. This thing kind of hits really hard from the physical side, and it gets Stab Earthquake. So let's say this Mon's really going to mostly be bulky with like Stealth Rocks, 3 attacks, but it's going to hit hard with Earthquakes. And let's say I'm low on health, and I get into Torrent range. Torrent boosted Waterfall is going to hit hard. Don't sleep on Swampert. I'm surprised this thing was Tier 4 with how hard it could hit. And they thought Seismic Toad was better because of the water immunity. And I'll take Swampert in Tier 4. Gives you another rocker. Takes defensive pressure off of Skarmory. It's defensive pressure off of Skarmory. And Skarmory plus Swampert is going to be a really nice wall core for me. Because Swampert's one weakness is grass. Two of Skarmory's weaknesses are because Swampert only has one weakness in grass, and that's quad resisted by Skarmory. Skarmory is weak to electric and fire, both of which are resisted by Swampert. Well, Swampert's immune to electric. So these two paired together is going to be really nice. Especially since Skarm is also immune to... Skarm is one of the best Edgequake answers. Skarm and Swampert both give me also really good Edgequake answers, which my team is kind of weak to at the moment, because Muck doesn't appreciate Earthquakes. This doesn't appreciate Earthquakes. And these two just don't appreciate taking hits. So yeah, that's Swampert. I really only took it because it was tier 4. I needed a tier 4. And because it really... because it has defensive synergy with Skarmory. And it takes defensive pressure off of Skarmory, gives me another rocker so I can play some mind games with that. And Swampert's name is going to be Mudkips, because I like Mudkips. Shouts to OB3 and his axolotl named Mudkip. So yeah, that's Swampert for you. Not the fastest mon, only base 60 speed, but it's gonna be built to take hits. And I always wanted to try Swampert in League. I've seen Swampert used in League a ton. And I wanted to try it out for myself. I've used it on ladder in UU and have been doing fairly well with it. So we'll see how that works out here. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I wanted to get work on my Firewater Grass Core, and I wanted Serena with my next pick, but I was sniped by JT's. Of course, on the pick I decide to take Serena, JT's decides, no, I want Thick Legs. God damn it, Jay, I'll get you this season. Okay, so in lieu of that, my tier 3 grass is going to be Domeyes, because Shaman was also gone at this point, and I figured I wanted another Rapid Spinner. So I decided to go with Domeyes, and this one I've used before, and I already forgot what league it was. I know I used Domeyes before in the league, though. And this mod's really good. 131 attack, really underrated. Attacker has 3 stabs with Ghost Grass and the Steelworker ability, which essentially gives a stab on steel moves. Anchor Shot's really nice for trapping. Gets Rapid Spin, which is going to be really handy, as right now my only hazard removal is Skarmory, and Zam does not appreciate hazards after Megaing. Muck doesn't appreciate Spike Stack, and I needed something reliable to get rid of hazards, and that's where Domeyes comes in. Gives me a Grass type and a Ghost type, which Ghost type right now is pretty nice. I'd rather not have the Ghost type because I already have 2 Psychic types, and both of those are fairly weak to Dark. So that's why I wanted Serena more, but I'll settle for Domeyes because I kind of wanted my Grass type to be bulky and a spinner. And so it was between Serena or Domeyes. Really, any was fine. So I ended up having to deal with Domeyes, which is okay. I am fine with that. It gets SD too. So this thing could even be... Wow, it gets Surf. I didn't know that. It gets SD too. So this thing could even set up. I don't think it gets like Trick Room or something, but it doesn't matter. Excited to use Domeyes, and we'll see what it could do. Okay, so now I'm thinking... Alright, I'm kind of weak to fighting. I mean, Domeyes kind of helps with that being a Ghost type, but I'm not weak to fighting, but I mean, Muck doesn't appreciate the hits, and neither does Skarmory. But I figured now over here I needed to start diving into tier 5 because tier 5s are going to start. The good tier 5s are going to start flying, and I figured I'm going to need a sticky webs user because how are people going to beat Lele and Mega Alakazam? They're going to run Scarfers. And Lele with 95 speed is really nice with sticky webs. And Mascarene was tier 5, and Domeyes is nicknamed. Domeyes is going to be nicknamed the... What did I nickname my Domeyes in that league? In that one league. Damn it, I don't remember what I nicknamed my Domeyes in that one league. I think I nicknamed it Anchorman, yeah. I nicknamed it Ron Burgundy, and that's what I'm going to go with here. Ron Burgundy. I think I spelled Burgundy wrong, but whatever. Okay, so I decided on Mascarene. for my web setter. Bug flying type. So I duped flying, which is okay, that's fine, as I have Swampert that's immune to electric, as electric and fire are checked well by Swampert. Domeyes is now resistant to electric, and I do draft another fire resistant mon later on. So it's okay that I'm weak to fire plus electric, because Swampert's going to take hits regardless. And I also have Komodo that resists fire. I know it doesn't appreciate burns, but whatever. But the reason I decided on Mascarene over something like Levani, or I wanted a tier 5 web setter. So the reason I went with Mascarene over any other one is because of Quiver Dance. This thing could be a setup sweeper. With base 100 special attack and 80 speed. It's actually not too bad to start to set up and sweep teams. Two very nice abilities in Intimidate and Unnerve. Unnerve is really, really nice if you want to be a sweeper. Because let's say you're setting up and then out of nowhere, random berry, you get blown back. Unnerve stops your opponent from eating berries. Intimidate's very, very nice to lower attack on switching. So it's very nice on physical setup mods. And that's really all Mascarene does. It's also another defogger. So I take some removal pressure off of Skarmory or Domeyes. But Domeyes is going to be doing the bulk of the removal anyway, even though I have 3 defoggers. So yeah, that's all really Mascarene is built for. It's going to Quiver Dance and Sweep, or it's going to set up webs. Now over here, I still had enough points for a tier 1, and I was eyeing Weavile. And I figured this was the round I was going to do it. I was going to take Weavile because I didn't want it sniped for me, and I got sniped by blue. Oh, God damn. So now I had to blow up my plan and decide on a new route. So I figured I'll go with the budget Sneasel. I know it's tier 4, but I figured I had to go with the budget Weavile because I needed the speed. My team was looking really slow outside of Megazam, and I really, really needed the speed. That's why I wanted Weavile. I know the webs kind of help with that because I knew my team was looking kind of slow, but Sneasel really, really helps out with the speed situation, giving me that 115 speed tier. So I'm not giving another mon over base 100, actually 115. So I'm not complete. So Megazam is not just my fastest mon, and then I just have my next fastest being Lele at 95. And that's really all Sneasel is. Sneasel is just a budget Weavile. They have a very similar move pool. In fact, I think it's pretty much the same. It does pretty much everything Weavile does, except with slightly less stats. Oh yeah, Mascarene's nickname is going to be. I don't even know a good Mascarene nickname. And I'm just gonna nickname it AJ. Because AJ has used Mascarene in a lot of because AJ, coach of the Toronto Blue Flares, he has used Mascarene a ton in UTL. So I figured it's fitting to name it after him. And Sneasel is going to be. I'm just going to give Sneasel the same nickname I gave my Weaviles, and that's Laura. After the after that girl from the that mutant girl from the Wolverine comics, X-23, I think it is. Yeah, so I'm naming Sneasel Laura after the X-23 from the Wolverine comics. Okay, so so now with getting another mon over base 100 speed, I figured let's get another mon over base 100 speed, and let's get an essential mon in League format, Manectric. Because I notice I now have 2 mons weak to electric and only 2 and I have 2 mons weak to electric. This gives me an immunity to electric with Lightning Rod. And Manetric's probably my favorite fast electric. I like it better than Jolteon because Jolteon is tier 3 in a ton of leagues, and I really, really think Jolteon tier 3 is a travesty. I think it should be tier 4 because nobody should draft Jolteon in tier 3. When you got mons like Manetric, Electivire, Electros, Zeep Strika, all tier 4 and below that are better. And the reason why I say Manetric is better than Jolteon is because number 1, Lightning Rod is a better immunity ability than Volt Absorb. Because Volt Absorb does is heal you. Lightning Rod gives you a special attack boost, and I think I'm on like Jolteon, that's a fast special attacker, would appreciate the Lightning Rod boost more. Number 2, Manectric gets fire coverage with Overheat and Flamethrower. I know Jolteon gets ghost coverage with Shadow Ball, but I think the fire coverage is better so you can hit Scizor harder, you can hit Bulky Steels harder. Jolteon most of the time gets checked by Bulky Steels. You don't have to run HP Fire to deal with them with Manectric. You could afford to run HP Ice to deal with ground types. So that's just my little tidbit on why I think Manectric is more value in like a tier 4 or tier 5 setting than Jolteon is in a tier 3. I actually did end up drafting Jolteon in a league that had it actually did end up drafting Jolteon in the league, but they had Jolteon tier 4. And that's why I was able to pick it up. I'm fine with drafting Jolteon tier 4. I won't draft the tier 3 though. No, but that's all Manectric does. It's a fast electric. That's really it. It's essential, and that's why its nickname is going to be in all caps essential. Because Manectric is essential in league format. It's a fast electric, low tier, very, very nice mon. I've used it in a ton of leagues. It needs no explanation. I still had enough points for that tier 1. And I know this doesn't look like a good idea on paper, but I figured it was still on the board. I still had enough points for a tier 1. And I figured I have enough bug resists to do it. And I think you're talking about Hoopaunbound. We allowed this mod in UTL Season 7 after being banned for so long. And which, look at this, it is still available in the next to last round. I know you're thinking this is 11 mods, but UTL has a 12 mon draft where there's a second tier 5 slot. So it's standard GBA format. That was this draft, except instead of 1 tier 5, it's 2 tier 5s. 2 tier 3s, 2 tier 5s. And Hoopaunbound just needs no introduction. Just look at its stat pool. This thing is a wall breaker through and through. And now I have the webs with the Mascarene, and that's really going to help out Hoopaunbound too. Base 80 speed, so it's fast enough to outspeed things in webs, but it's still slow regardless. This team is pretty slow, and it really is going to get helped out by Mascarene's webs. And Hoopaunbound's name is going to be Entomophobia, which is the fear of insects. Entomophobia. And really, Hoopaunbound needs no introduction. This thing with Psychic Terrain is really, really nice, as its Fizz Def is what draws it back. Fizz Def and Speed is what definitely draws Hoopaunbound back. And Psychic Terrain kind of remedies the defense to an extent, as you can't be hit by priority. And also boosted psychic attacks from 170 special attack or 160 physical is going to hurt. And for the last one, I just wanted to complete my Fire Water Grass core. And I decided to take Torracat. Just because it gives me more speed. I have base 90 speed now. It's because it gives me more speed on this team. 2 very useful abilities in Blaze and Intimidate. And I went with this over Monferno because I drafted Monferno in an earlier UTL season. I believe it was season 5. And it was alright. It was essentially a poor man's Infernape. But I wanted to try out Torracat because Intimidate was released. If Intimidate wasn't released, I probably would have went with Monferno again. Or I would have went with Rapidash. But I wanted to try out Torracat. Because it gets a very similar move pool to Incineroar. I think, does it get U-turn? It does get U-turn. That's really nice then. Gives me a U-turn or 2 to pair with Manectric's Volt Switch. And I'm pretty sure I have another U-turner somewhere, but I'll figure it out. I think Mascarene gets U-turn. Didn't really have much Volt turn on this team, but Torracat plus Manectric should really help out with that Volt turn that I was kind of lacking on the team. Very similar move pool to Incineroar, if not the same. I think it might be the same. But it doesn't have the Dark typing, which means I don't have 4 Dark types. I have only 3. Hoopaunbound, Alola Muck, and Sneasel. That's 3 Dark types. I know this team has 3 Dark types and 3 Psychic types, but they're all weak to different things. Like, for example, Tapu Lele isn't weak to Dark, and it isn't weak to Bug, like Megazam and Hoopa. Hoopa is immune to Psychic. Hoopa is immune to Psychic instead of Resists. And what else? Hoopa and Lele are also not weak to Dark. So, yeah, I triple types, but they're all weak to different things. and they do different things. Okay, so that is the team of that is your UTL season 7 Reno Acerola. I hope we have a great season here in the UTL season 7. I hope the coach analysts definitely do a good job this season. Don't forget to check out the UTL channel that will be linked in the description. And as always, I will see you guys next week with the ICBA draft recap and MLBA playoffs started, and that game will go up on Tuesday. ICBA recap should be going up the following Monday, April 16th. Is the date we're aiming for ICBA draft recaps. So Hispanic out, and I will see you guys with week 1 of the MLBA playoffs next week. Peace!